There it is. I guess we are recording. So welcome everyone. It's Tuesday, June 4th. It is now summer, so plan on the markets to kind of slow down. So when you're going for pips, kind of be mindful of that. The markets aren't very volatile. A lot of big money doesn't trade in June and July. It's just one of those commonly known facts that a lot of newbies don't commonly know. So just in case you didn't know that, now you do. This trade right here is kind of pulling back, but this is when I'm in my live account. You would wait for like a good entry. This is a good trade. It moves really well, and there's not a whole bunch of risk. It just moves really, really well. This is my favorite trade for right now, probably because I did so well on it today. I took it based off of the 1 hour, and it dropped. So it's looking like it's making a head and shoulders right here. Do you guys see that?
You're just waiting for the other dots, right? Like the opposing color dots.
Here. So I closed out the majority of my position on my live account, and I'll get back in as soon as I see. So I either wait for the ADX to kind of cross back over, or I see another peak, kind of wait for this to turn around. So if it rejects the zero, great, because it might. Because if you notice, like right here, how it kind of came up. Can you guys see that wannabe head and shoulders that may or may not form? But I like this trade, so because there's a lot going on, so there's a lot of volatility in the Mexican peso, so it's just moving super well. Just wait for it to be ready. Like, again, you guys know I don't go down to the 15-minute time frame. We can check it, but the only time I'm on the 15 is if I'm using that parabolic SARS, and I'll use that or the 5-minute. So you can wait until it's ready, because that's like a nice engulfing candle. So probably going to push up. Like an ABC correction according to Elliott wave theory, because this would be the perfect 5-way wave down, right? And then we'd have the ABC correction before it drops again, also known as a flag, all that weird information that no one really knows and I don't really think is super useful, but yeah, this is a good trade. If you guys wait for this, watch this trade, enter it, and make sure you post your results in the group. Wait for this trade to be ready. Just wait for the money tree string line to turn purple or whatever color you use, or a little arrow or dots. You can kind of pick your re-entry method with a perfect crossover of this, whatever you guys want to do. If this is probably going to reject, and then turn around.
Jenny.
Hey, how's it going? Who is this?
It's Austin.
Hey, Austin, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Were you on a sell on this, I'm guessing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure.
I mean, I'm working on scalping, and I've got a really good system down for US 30. And the parabolic SARS, this one right here, works really well. Like, it works really good because you're trading with the trend.
Right.
So if we put Euro Mexican on this, why were you trying to buy that?
No. I've never traded the peso before, so.
Well, be careful because the spread is massive. So you see this huge engulfing candle right here?
Yeah, I got a little freaked out looking at the spread.
Well, so what broker are you on?
I just deposited more money into my AAFX one because I wanted more spread. So I was trading on my CoinEx for a little bit, and then I went back to my AAFX one.
If you're scalping, go back to your CoinEx.
Oh, no, I'm not scalping. No.
If you're swing trading, I would literally max out the leverage on AAFX. Like, again, I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say can or will be used against me. So if you're asking for an opinion for educational purposes, after all that drama in the group, this is just a demo account, but the free margin. So watch, this is just a demo. This trade is totally going to lose, but that's okay. Let's do a 0.5.
So I think I'm at 2,001 right now on this account.
So you see this right here?
Yeah.
This is your margin level. So if I could just give anybody one piece of advice, people who blow their accounts as much as I blew my account, and I blew my account a lot, this is the most important thing you can pay attention to. You can max out all that leverage and you can make a ton of money, especially with the leveraged account. However, just make sure your leverage never gets below, your margin level never gets below 1,000%. And when it does get close to 1,000, just start closing trades. And then your account can withhold, like, granted, this is the peso, so it's a little, obviously there's a bigger spread, but the account can withhold that huge movement. Like, so when you're trading the 4 hour, you don't have to super sweat it. So this is the 4 hour. Let me close this now. Your account can hold this kind of movement. You know what I'm saying? So even if it kind of retrace a lot, your account can hold that, provided you're not in too many pairs at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not in anything right now, actually. I got out all my trades earlier.
Okay, awesome. Well, guys, is there any specific pairs you guys want to look at? I know people were talking about gold, which is not ready. I would not enter gold. Just so you guys know, if you're asking me, it's got a lot of momentum to the upside. A lot. And we have no clear reason to believe that it's turning around yet. None. So this could have been a pullback, and it could continue to push up. So until you have confirmed information, so you'd want it to break the 0 line here or break the 50 line of your RSI, you'd want some kind of clear proof that this is turning around. If this is what you're going to pay your mortgage with, that's just the advice that I would give you. Gold is not ready. So this looks like it could be forming a double top, but it's not ready yet. We don't know for sure if it's going to push up. All these wicks are different directions. You've got hammers and dojis, and now you're kind of pushing up again. It wicked down. So it looks like it just retested the 50 to continue going up. But price usually doesn't, like, especially gold and USD pairs, they don't usually respect a lot of structure during the week of NFP. So I would just definitely wait for a safe move for anybody who wants to ask about gold.
I was looking at the GDP Swiss for a buy, but I'm waiting for triple arrows on the 4 hour. But there's triples for a buy on the 1 hour right now.
Let's see. Swiss is finally losing strength, because the Swiss was the strongest pair for.
Oh yeah, I was in that GBP Swiss sell for forever.
Did you make good money on it?
Yeah, but then I it hit my take profit and I never got back in, but I probably should have.
Well, it's okay.
It fell for like 600 pips.
Ouch. Well, that would hurt. So, like, if we're looking at this pair, and we're on the 1 hour, so we have our daily dots and our green dots. So I have I have them set to daily and to the 4 hour. But we also are hitting a little resistance. So, like I said, wait for it to break. Here, I'll draw a trend line using this tool. Thankfully, it's up here today. I'm gonna make it red so you guys can see it. So it broke that trend line, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, run it through. If you want a slightly safer entry, you can wait for it to break again. Over here.
Okay.
Because it looks like it's kind of bouncing around the 50. You want an impulse move over that 50. So you want a momentum candle. That's what you're looking for. When it moves with momentum, that's how you know, okay, this is a safe entry. This is an entry that I can kind of count on. Because right now this could just be a pullback. So pulling back to the trend line or to the 50 is a very common thing. And the GBP finally gained some strength. So.
Yeah, I was just kind of looking at that one because I don't think there's much news for either of those pairs this week.
Awesome. This is a good pair to watch.
Especially because it dropped so much. I have a feeling it's going to go up a little since the Swiss is kind of dying a little now.
So if it comes back here, even if it only does like that much of a retracement, so approximately 50%, you could easily get 100 pips out of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Easily.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys, you guys have any questions? I know there was somebody who wanted help with their ADX. Tim, are you on? I don't think he's on, but I think he's still at work, depending on what his time zone is. But guys, when you see these buy-sell dots, so right now we're on the 1 hour. So 4 of these dots would be worth 1 dot on the 4 hour, right? So these buy-sell dots, they're programmed to come up when price stalls at a certain point based off of a certain time frame. So the daily dot, obviously the daily dots don't even count until the daily candle has closed which closes at whatever time zone you're in. 3 p.m. Mountain Time for me, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. That's what you're looking for. You want that to close before you even count the daily dot. And for me, at least, again, if you're asking me, I like my candle closed before I count anything. That's just how I was taught, and I find it to work really well because a lot of indicators will move or shift when the candle has not yet closed. So you guys know. So that hopefully answers some of those questions. Yep. Okay, guys. Well, are there any questions?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, DJ, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you, Jenny?
Fantastic.
I was wondering if you could take a look at the Audi USD.
On is still gaining strength last time I checked.
Oh, it is gaining, because I was looking at it for a possible sell
On what time frame?
on the 15-minute. I know you just said you don't normally mess with that, but
I don't. So like the only way I would look at that on the 15-minute is if I was here. So like let's go to that on this. Are you looking to scalp for like 10 pips?
yes.
So you have 4-hour resistance and daily resistance crossover, kind of bounce back up. It was not able to break the 50. So like even for my scalp, even for the flip-flop method, you want it to break the 50. It's not that you can get paid based off of this whole overbought, oversold. You see this right here?
Yes.
Overbought, oversold. The star is flipped. We have the daily dots, who we want to enter right away because we're so excited. Technically, depending on what your spread was, you can still get out with, a couple of pips. Not on this broker. You're not going to get out with pips on this broker. Maybe 2.
Right.
7. But if you want it confirmed, because guys, you're trying to trade with the trend. So the trend, if you're looking for a trend trade, that means you're on the 1-hour chart, right? Is price above or below the 50? Price is above the 50, right? So you'd pop down to the 15. You're looking for a buy for a scalp. And if you just stick to that rule, you'll be unusually successful. But right now it's not ready yet. Are you upside down on it now?
Yeah, it's still on a demo account, but yeah, I am.
Where did you enter?
Let me see. I entered. Sorry, 1 second.
No, it's okay.
I entered on the 0.69903.
Like, did you enter it here recently within the last 2 hours?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I have the uncanny ability to buy it right when the price goes in the opposite direction. I'm not sure why that keeps happening.
But the cool thing is that means you're onto something.
Yeah, maybe every time I have a feeling to buy, I should just do the opposite. Or, maybe I'll make more money doing it that way.
You'll get there. You'll get there. Trust me. I was right in your position a month ago.
Honestly, yeah. I think all of us felt like, well, wait a minute. I'm losing so often that if I literally do the exact opposite of what I'm doing, I'm going to be rich. I know I felt like that.
Exactly.
That's exactly how
I felt like that's awesome.
I'm like, okay, so if I'm losing all this money, yeah, you're right. It's just somebody out there must be making it.
Yep. For every trade you lose, somebody else is winning. That's correct. So listen, if you got in right here, do you have the 50 on your chart?
Now I do.
Okay. What indicators do you have? What oscillators?
I have the MACD True, the RSI, and I got the helpline.
You like the helpline? So was the helpline ready? Well, yeah, the helpline wasn't ready until here.
Well, according to mine, it was ready.
On the 15-minute?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's add this in just to show you. What was the RSI doing at that time? Do you know?
The according to mine, at the time I got in, the RSI was below the 50, but now it's not. everything on my screen was showing it was a sell as far as the oscillators. And so I just got through watching Pat's video, and I did everything he said, I believe, and I figured it was a good trade.
I don't usually trade this system with the 15-minute chart. So like granted on my 1 hours, like the stop losses are larger on my 4 hour and my 1 hour, but it's like so easy. So like for instance, I picked my couple of trades. I think one of them right now is still close to break even. Odd Chef is still close to break even. But in general, like all my trades are in profit that I picked out yesterday evening. Most of them closed out on my euro peso. It's super easy, just trusting the 4 hour. So the 4 hour is telling you that this is a buy, right?
Yeah, it's telling me it's a buy.
The 1 hour is probably, let's see what the 1 hour is saying. The 1 hour is now saying it's a sell, but that's just a pullback. Like, so I trust the 4 hour wholeheartedly in all things. So I trust the 4 hour. Just so you know, granted, like I was the girl who started the system with only using the 1 hour. I ignored everything else, and I did decently well. But then when the losses come and you start to reevaluate, like I realized that if I just stayed in line with the 1 hour and the 4 hour, I mean, my accuracy ratio is extremely high. But then again, I'm waiting for a confirmed move. So whatever oscillators you have that you see best, make sure that they are fully ready. So like if you like the MACD, I like how you have a crossover for the faster entry, which would kind of line up for the money tree string. But then you also have the break of the zero for the confirmed trend change. I like this indicator. I like the ADX. Actually, I was taught on the ADX originally. I'm currently learning TDI only because I was told it's one of the most important ones. And it's kind of, I think it's great for overbought, oversold, but I don't think it's like super great for the middle stuff. So who knows? But just pick your couple and then make sure they're fully lined up. If you had fully confirmed entries from the 15-minute to the 1 hour, you wouldn't have taken that trade.
Okay, so basically what I'm doing, I believe I'm doing it correctly, at least on the 15-minute. You're saying basically just move that up a couple of time frames and do the exact same thing?
Yeah, so you if you had all your confirmations, like for instance, you should have rules. If you don't have rules, don't plan on being super successful. You gotta have rules and then stick to those rules for like 30 days without changing anything. So create the rules, don't change any of them. You have to test them in live accounts with live or find a demo account's fine, but test them for 30 days to see the results. You're not going to know where to improve on any of those trades if you're constantly like, well, today I'm going to trust the ADX and tomorrow I'm going to look at the helpline and today I'm only going to go off of this time frame. Like you won't know what to improve. You're just kind of, shooting in the dark, right? So yeah, you want a fully confirmed entry 15 to 1 hour, or at least you want it to be in line with the same directions, 1 hour and 4 hour.
Okay, all right, I will adjust accordingly. Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope that helps.
It really did. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Next question.
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, Connie, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Wonderful. Did you get your indicators all working right?
Today? Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I'm glad. How can I help you?
I have a question on the Euro USD.
Okay, let's go to that. What time frame?
4 hours.
Let's take a look.
Thank you.
Let's see. The euro is dropping hard. I know that. Okay. Got a lot. And are you looking for an entry or did you already enter?
Well, I did. I did the 15 minutes, but see, I didn't see the triple arrow here. I mean, it started here and then it fulfilled here. I don't have all of them here. On this 4 hours, I don't have the triple arrows. Why is it so far away?
But that's perfect, because if you trusted the triple arrows on a different time frame, notice how right now price would be going against you.
It is.
Well, price is going against you because the trade wasn't ready yet. So again, I don't know which oscillators you have on your chart, but
MACD, I have the stochastics.
Okay, I love that stochastic. That stochastic is really good. Let's see. Let's put that on there, just so we can see what you saw. Okay, so this is the 1 hour, right? You have a big arrow and the yellow arrow, but you didn't have the little arrow. Do you see that? Where did you enter the trade at?
15 minutes.
Like what price or what time?
Well, when I entered at the 15 minutes, I was going for, I think, a sell. And everything was okay on the 15 minutes, I thought.
Okay, so did you enter here? Or here? Like, where did you enter?
Below the white line.
So here? Or here?
Yeah, there.
Okay, what broker are you on?
Coinex.
How many pips were you going for?
10.
The Coinex spread on this pair is like 2, give or take. So even if you entered down here, like even if you entered at the very, very tip of that candle, that should have closed in profit if you counted your pipettes right. Because even if you entered on that very, very tip right here, just the tip, just this tip.
Yeah, but it went up.
It went up and then it went down, right?
Well, I just closed it out because it was going against me.
Well, like Pat would say, this is a patience thing. So like if you're only trusting the 15-minute chart, so if you're ignoring every single thing else, your accuracy is going to be somewhere in the 70th percentile. I'm definitely not a genius. I'm just really good at knowing my numbers. So if you're waiting for a fully confirmed move, even on the 15 minutes, so that means you're not checking any other time frames, okay? The odds of you getting 10 pips or just a small portion of the average daily range is very, very high. But you have to be willing to handle this pullback and this pullback to let it go here. And think about how many hours is in between here. And this is an ugly trade, okay? So this is 5:30 at 17:30. This is like the next day. This is like 12 hours apart. So 12 hours later, you got your 10 pips.
Wow.
That happens sometimes. Like, this is real trading.
Okay, maybe I'm not getting it. Let's go back to the chart, the 4 hours again. I'm sorry, let's move back there. Okay, now the first thing I was looking at was the green arrows. Okay, that was yesterday. I was looking at the green arrows, and I still don't have triple arrows on the 4 hours.
Okay, so we're back on the 4-hour chart.
And then we see the big arrow. That's going green. I'm looking for the green arrow.
Hey, Derek, you raised your hand. Did you want to add something to this, or do you have a question afterwards? I have my Zoom information on my VPS today. It's kind of hit or miss, so.
Okay.
Sorry, there was somebody who raised their hand. Maybe they could help. Okay, so we're back on the 4-hour.
Okay, so I was looking, over the weekend, I was looking at this big green arrow in the middle of the chart.
This one?
Yes, this one. So I was looking why it's not giving me the triple digit here. It gave me this, but I don't have the yellow one here.
That's correct, you don't.
And so I waited, and then I said, okay, let me go for a sell. And so when I got the big arrow here, and then I decided to go in.
Okay, so let's, hold on, let me move my little Zoom box. So check this out. This is probably a news candle. I can't verify, I don't know for sure, but this massive wick, and this is not a fast moving pair. So just to give you an idea, this is what this one candle moved, 1.5 times the average daily range, which is not very common on this pair, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this would be an atypical candle. Now, having said that, like we have obviously a big arrow, we have our buy sell 4 hour, day one, and our little arrow, money tree string line turn colors, and it broke the 50. So and it broke this previous support. So you could have taken this for, just a scalp until you saw this come up. This right here doesn't have the big arrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
No big arrow here, but that's not, especially once you actually learn how to trade on the 4 hour, that's not like a major problem, believe it or not, because we have little arrow, 4 hour support, daily support, yellow arrow. It broke the 50, and it didn't just like tickle the 50, like tiptoe around it. Like it broke it with force. Do you see the size of that candle?
Mm-hmm.
It broke it with force, came back a little bit. So even if you just took this for the average daily range or half of it, that's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Again, super easy. So I would say if you're going against the trend, you're going for just a small portion. And again, same thing happened here. You have your oscillators lined up. I should have mentioned that, sorry. 4 hour daily, little arrow, yellow arrow, money tree string, broke the 50. Your ADX lined up, this lined up. This not only had a cross, but it broke the 50, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then had a cross on the stochastic. So you could have taken this for just half of the average daily range. This is like, trading is so easy, but the problem is it's so easy that people like super overcomplicate it. And I've done it too, like got stuck in my head so much that I felt like I was going insane. So again, with that many confirmations, 1, 2, you can count this as 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 for the 4 hour, 7 for the daily, 8 for the little arrow, 9 for the yellow, 10 for the money tree string, 11 for the break of the 50. That's 11 confirmations just to take it for half of the average daily range. You'd be out of this trade way, way before anything ever happened, and you would just look for another setup. That's literally how easy it is.
Okay, so you're saying, if I'm understanding you correctly, we don't have to wait for all the 3 arrows on the 4 hours to match, to be together before we pull the trigger. Is that correct in my assumption?
You are correct. So, like for instance, whatever indicators you have on your chart, maybe you have that profit filter, which is kind of nice. Maybe you like the RSI, whatever ones your eyes see best. Okay. And then, of course, we have the ones that our system provides, which is the dots, the big arrow, little arrow, and then that's a 5 and 13 cross, yellow arrow, money tree string. Give or take, you have anywhere from potentially like 7 to 15 confirmations. So your job, Connie, is to say, okay, I have, from the way I like my chart set up, I'm not going to take a trade that has less than 10 out of, 15 of my confirmations, or 10 out of 12, and follow the rules. Create rules that say, hey, my stop loss is going to be at the support and resistance. Because yes, technically you can give it more room by putting it above the big arrow. However, the truth is once it breaks this support and resistance, this is a dead trade anyways. That analysis is no longer valid. So like right here, if you had placed a sell here and it went against you, once price broke this, it's no longer valid. So your job is to create rules that say my stop loss goes here. I'm going to go for, depending on which time frame you're using, X amount of pips based off of the pair's value. You should be going for 100 pips on, CHF, JPY, because that one doesn't move fast enough, as an example. But your job is to say, okay, I have this many confirmations, okay? I can trust this trade for this many pips. That is your only job. So, let's take the big arrow out of it. Let's totally take the big arrow out of it. Because I think the big arrow, even for me, like I admitted the other night, a few nights ago on that call, I almost walked away from the system because I was super frustrated with that whole repainting thing. I didn't understand. So let's pretend like the big arrow isn't so big. We can make it super small if that makes our mind feel better. But at the end of the day, we have X amount of confirmations. Whatever your chart is set up on as. You're looking for enough validation to say, hey, I trust this trade. And even on this ugly one right here that didn't go very far, I'm willing to guess you would have gotten close to the average daily range, but you would have gotten at least half of the average daily range. So you see how the candle closed above the 50, right? We would enter on the next candle, and this trade alone went for the average daily range. Do you see that?
Where's the average daily range? I mean, what
Right
you
here.
refer to it? Where?
So this right here, these numbers on the side, that's saying that on average,
I don't see anything.
you don't see this.
I see the pictures of the people in the class, but I
You can
don't see.
minimize it. You can press a little minus thing and it'll
Oh,
minimize it.
like, sorry. I was like, you don't see this?
Okay.
Okay. So now can you see this over here?
Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
Okay. Like this information is gold. I was trading with this long before I had this indicator. I actually used to check a website, so I knew how many pips I was going for. But this information is really, really valuable because
Okay.
every one of these setups, when you're looking for enough confirmations, I mean, sure, this is ugly. This is not a fun area. But again, if you waited till you had the right confirmations, you still would have gotten out. Like, so I teach you more accurately to always put your stop in a profit. So even on this one, you got half the average daily range. Even on this really ugly move. And there's not enough confirmations on this move either.
Okay, so when you say 1 week ADR equals 52, is that for the whole week for the US Euro USD? Is that what you're saying?
No, so that's this week for the following 5 trading days, the previous 5 trading days. On average, this pair moved about 52 pips a day. And then for 12 weeks ago, so for the last 12 weeks altogether, when you combined it and add it all up, the average that the pip moved every day, and that's a trading day. So that's from Asian Open to New York close.
Okay.
The average was 51 pips. So you'll notice like GBP NZD is one of the heaviest movers right now. It's usually one of the heaviest movers too, but in terms of Forex pairs, that pair moves on average 120 pips a day. Whereas this one moves 52.
Okay, that's cool. So the first week it's averaging 52.
No. An average takes, like, by definition, an average is the last 5 days divided by 5. So by definition, the 4-hour average daily range would be the last 4 weeks times 5 days, right? So 4 times 5 divided by the number of pips, whatever is the average daily range, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how they would come up with that. Well, I don't know exactly, but that's math anyway.
Okay, so how are you using the information, the 52, the 45, the 51? How is that helping you with your trading decision?
Well, it helps me because this, ready? If I go to take this trade, which I'm not gonna because it's still going up.
Okay.
If I were to take this trade once it did set up, so let's say I'm gonna take this one.
Okay.
Let me be more fair. So
Okay.
let's talk about a real situation. I've got a crossover of my stochastic, crossover and volume, plus it crossed over the 0. My help line is saying go. My ADX crossed over and momentum is pointing up.
Right.
2 support lines, money tree string, 2 arrows, it broke the 50. So I checked this out and I'm like, I'm taking this for how many pips? But I want to know how many pips I'm going for. Leaving trades open is a really good way to lose money, especially for a new trader, because that means it can go in your favor by 300 pips, but you were at dinner with your darling and you totally didn't know that, so it went against you. So having no take profit, especially for a new trader, can be foolish because it's hard to track success.
Mm-hmm.
So on this trade, I would know that, okay, on average, it only moves about 50 pips a day, okay, give or take, without some major news. I can go for 50 if I'm more experienced, or if I want the safest trade, I can go for half of that, okay? I can go to this next support level, right? So if I took the trade right here, because where we would want the candle to close above it, so I took it actually technically on this candle, okay? I can take the trade for, give or take, 25 to 50 pips, right? I can take it to the next support area, right, which is what I would do. I would measure the next support area and say, okay, that's less than the average daily range. So I'm happy with that. And that's what I would do personally.
Okay, gotcha. Now, how do you get the Euro USD on the background? How did you do that?
This is called the watermark. and it's free in the app store, or the marketplace. This is called the watermark for MT4.
Oh, okay, I see. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Appreciate it.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, it does.
If you're in this trade, please wait because it's got a lot of momentum still to the upside.
Yeah.
I like safer trades. It's not that I have a crystal ball, but when I actually follow my rules, I hardly ever lose. When I don't follow my rules, I lose a lot. So I'd rather stick to my rules.
Okay, now did you go in? Could you have also gotten in with the first dot, the green dot there?
You guys talked to Pat about that. I don't do that.
Okay.
So like, here's the thing: when you learn from me or you learn from him or anybody else, as long as it's not like cross recruiting, trying to, sell you something, you should definitely look into what they're saying, because the reality is like you're gonna find a way to see the markets, and it's gonna be your way. There's a very high likelihood that I'm not gonna see what you see. Pat is a phenomenal trader. Like, he is a beast. I don't trade the same way as him, but that's also the blessing, is because like you'll get to see the market different ways. I do not enter just because I see a dot, because here's the problem with that. If I enter when I see the dot, first off, the dot can repaint, right?
Right.
It's technically a dot. Second off, like, we don't know what the market is doing. Like, or like, here, let's go to a better one. Let's go to, well, that didn't have that on there. Let's go to a better trade. Hold on. So like, if I knew this market was going down, okay, and I got a dot, just one single dot, and it was in a downtrend, we're below the 50, I would take that. I would take just the dot here. But in general, I don't take just the dot. I want to see like my money tree string line turn. I want to see my ADX ready. I want more information. The dot is great when you're only trading with the trend. So in this case, this was a sell. We broke below the 50. Any purple dot that came up, I'd take that. But I'd be taking it for a small amount of pips. So like, see how a little bit this moves? This doesn't move very much.
Yeah.
I'd be taking it for just small moves. So even this dot would have been a mistake to enter, but I would have probably taken it. And I would have been okay with that. I take any of those dots that are with the trade I'm already in or already in favor of. But just taking a dot because a dot appears when you don't know what it's doing is foolish.
Okay, so how do you get the ADR to be on the
This?
on your chart? But yeah, the one that tells you 1 week, 4 weeks.
That indicator is called the bars alert. It's right here. It's in the notification channel, and it's in the group as well. So you would save it to a file on your computer. You'd open up your file on your MetaTrader 4. You'd save it to your data folder and then drag and drop it on your chart.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And then my last question for you is, I was going to, you told me about the JF, what is it, the broker?
AAFX.
Okay. Is it AAFX or the JAFX?
I was with JAFX, but JAFX got sued, so I am no longer with JAFX. Now I am with Alpha Foxtrot.
Okay. And that's the link that I should go sign up with, the link that you sent me?
Yeah.
And it's AAFX, okay.
AAFX, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
If I send you a link, you have all three of them. You would have all three of them in there. And if you sign up with like any of those brokers, make sure you message me, because I don't think any of those brokers are actually giving me credit for any of those signups. So between all three brokers, I think I've earned like $8. Well, $8.17 now.
Oh, really?
I'm not kidding you. I was like, so I just found out that CoinEx, like, I guess if you sign up with a CoinEx link, you have to message them and say, hey, I'm with this person. This is their email address for them to actually put it on there, which of course I didn't know that. So just make sure you let me know, and then we'll do a one-on-one.
I will.
The point of that is just to create rules and a trading plan. Like, that's it. So.
Okay. Now, are they taking wire, or they just go with coins? Correct.
Bitcoin was using Skrill, but they're no longer using Skrill. So AAFX now uses just Bitcoin currently. from what I understand, they're going to be turning Skrill back on, but right now it's turned off.
Oh. So which means I have to send them in Bitcoin, in cryptocurrency.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, Elliot, how's it going?
It's going great. It's going great. I'm really not that, I'm not familiar. I've been listening to some of your explanations. It's fascinating. Could you, just for me, go to one of the pairs you picked and then just tell me why you picked it? Because you have a whole different style of trading than Pappy does, and I'd like to learn a little bit more about it. Is there like a video or a document that goes over what you do, or?
Okay, so it's just me.
I know.
All the videos, yeah, all the videos are in the group. So let's see. Kind of what I do. I mean, I learned from I learned a whole lot from YouTube. I learned a whole lot from reading, and I got it wrong a whole lot.
Right.
So the reason why, like, I trade the way I trade is a combination between a couple of, very, very high up, 8-figure traders, and just by trial and error. So when I say, like, I don't care what oscillators you like best, pick your oscillators. I'll even help give you the best settings for the oscillators for this system. And then create rules that work for you, and then actually follow them. I mean, and we can kind of touch them up a little bit to make sure it's really good. That is my whole system. So there are some documents in the group that go over stacking and trading rules. There are some documents in the group that go over a trading plan in terms of like the percentage of growth you can do. And then there's just the videos. So that's like my entire trading style wrapped up into a nutshell. So.
Right. Okay.
So in terms of what I saw, I told you guys I entered the Euro Mexican in my live account, and I had also entered that trade, but let's deal with this. So when I saw this, first off, well, I entered this on my demo account in front of you guys. Yay. It's still going to go against us for a while, but that's okay because it's just a demo. What I saw was I had my ADX crossover, which I really trust my ADX, and I also had my TDI at that time. But I had enough confirmations kind of on this time frame. So on this time frame, this is the 4-hour, I had a crossover the MACD, which is a fast entry on smaller time frames. But on a bigger time frame, that's a decent entry. Of course, with the crossover here, and at that time, momentum was facing up. We had a big arrow, daily, and 4-hour support, and I was comfortable with that. So when I entered it, let's see. Here's what I saw on the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, I didn't wait for the close of the 50, but again, I was kind of using that TDI a little bit. Here's the confirmations we had on the 1 hour. At that time, momentum was facing up, so bear with me here. We have big arrow, super easy support, daily support, little arrow, yellow, my money tree string line turned purple, and we had all these confirmations, right? And I also had my TDI in there. I wasn't using this right here. So we had the crossover, the MACD, and that's how many confirmations I had to enter it. So when I entered it, I think I have a screenshot of it too. I don't know which one I entered it in. I probably entered in somewhere around here. This is where I would have entered. And as you guys can see, granted this is a faster mover, but drop a digit, that's still a lot of pips. So I closed out my biggest trade with 2,100 pips.
That's great.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, it is.
But think about how many reasons. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This was lined up. It doesn't look so pretty now, but you have to think hindsight is 2020. So it looked more like this when I entered, but of course everything came right back down. MACD was good and the volume was down. And then I was practicing that TDI thing, which is kind of ugly, but my TDI all lined up. So I had 9 out of 11 confirmations, and I really count on that big candle. So to me, that counts as one of my rules. Like, everybody wants to take this trade, but you want a momentum candle in your direction. And that's what's going to stop you from taking bad trades. So let me see if I can't go back on this one. So let's say we had a lot of information right here. We have enough confirmations maybe, right? Let's just pretend like we do. We don't have like a really big candle that's pushing in our direction yet, do we?
No.
No. We've got kind of a railroad, but this is still the bigger candle. This is still the bigger candle. So price still has more pushing power to the upside. So the reason why I would not have taken this setup is it's missing that candle confirmation. So I'm not like an expert price action girl who knows a whole bunch of fancy words because they change so much and people make them up anyway. I heard some the other day. What was it called? It was like it was a diamond. So I was on this like millionaire lockout call, right? And they were like, "Oh, that looks like a diamond universe, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, what is that? And essentially they just meant like a big candle. I'm like, okay, so just call it a big candle. It would help everybody. Anyways, long story short, you're looking for a big candle, okay?
Got it.
A big candle in your direction. So this is a bigger candle, right? And looks like price is pushing hard, but we've got a little power to the downside, and then we have power to the downside. Price bounces around a little bit, retraces, and power to the downside. That power to the downside, that's what I'm looking for. So this is going to go back up and retest, and I definitely could be wrong. I made the majority of my pips. When it resets up, I will re-enter. This is one of the trades that I took. Hold on, let me log into my live account. Let me see them all.
So then if you have enough confirmations, it doesn't have to break the 50 in your world?
Well, I'm a better trader. I'm not trying to be mean to you, but so Euro was dropping to begin. Euro was due a drop. So I used the currency strength meter too. In my world, most of my trades have to break the 50. Okay. And I promise until your account hits 6 figures, your world should mean I want it to break the 50. On the 1 hour chart, it's got to break the 50. Let's see. Let me go to my AAFX live. Okay. And so Euro NZD. This was another trade that I took. Euro NZD. Let's go to the 4 hour so we can see what I saw. So yes, in my world, it usually has to break the 50. Yes, I do break that rule sometimes. But again, if I have, for instance, 15 different things I'm allowed to use, I need 12 of them or 13 of them to line up for me to take this trade. But my understanding and my skill level is probably a little different than yours. So you have to use what you can see. So for right now, if these are the indicators you can see, you want this to line up, right? A candle confirmation is one of the things. I count a currency strength indicator. So like the currency heat wave, you can count that as one of the things. So you can pick and choose your poison, if you will, but make sure you have enough confirmations. So for that trade, yeah, no, it didn't need to break the 1 hour, the 50. But then again, I knew about the euro. The euro dropped instantly, and that was a good setup. So it was nice, huh?
Yeah.
Jamie, I can hear you.
Yes, ma'am. It worked out perfectly.
That was a beautiful trade. Oh, you took that trade, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am. I've been working that trade since Monday. Well, Sunday night, Monday morning, my time. Yeah.
I thought you saw my Instagram story. It's got 2,100 pips on there. I'm like, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I had it stacked a few times, so I closed a few, but it was a good trade. I like that. Okay, so this was another trade that I took. We had a pullback. So like I told you, I would trust this system, the dots, because this is already in the direction. We already broke the 50, retested it, kind of bounced around. So when I got in, I can't confirm, but I'm pretty sure it was right around here. And right around here, which we had the ADX kind of pointing up. We had a crossover on on that chart. I had TDI, MACD. So of my confirmations, it was enough. So I'm going to draw a line right here. Okay, go to the 1 hour. Because again, I take a look at the 4 hour, I check the 1 hour, and that's all I do. I don't overcomplicate it at all. So give or take, we had a couple of dots, right? Do you see, would this be enough confirmations, like for you to say, okay, I'm going to get in? give or take. So any one of these 4 candles, it could have been any of those 4 candles that I got in on. Because 4 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these candles, right, would equal the 4-hour candle. So when I said I would trust the dot, as long as it was in the direction of the trend, and I knew that euro was dropping because of the currency meters, the euro dropped hard. So it was just a matter of what would happen. The euro had to drop. So that was one of my confirmations. But you can see that we would have had enough confirmation in and around here. I don't know which one of these 4 candles it was. I can't confirm. But there you go. It'll pull back now. Once you guys learn to trade, like, it's really not super complicated. This trade is just barely now coming into profit. This odd CHF. If you guys notice, a lot of these do not have the same currency pair, because I don't like trade 5 odd pairs at the same time, primarily because I've lost a lot of money doing that. NZD was the pair I lost it all on, and I was like, okay, never doing that again. So right now we're on the 4-hour. Let's go to the 4-hour. This is what I saw on the 4-hour. As soon as it loads. Super simple. So we knew that odd is going to be gaining strength, and has been gaining strength. But like the other gentleman who was talking about the chef, the Swiss pair, Swiss was so strong for so long, the odd couldn't really compete against it, hence the extra drop, right? So when you're using currency strength a little bit as one of your confirmations, it really helps you avoid wrong trades. So we had a nice move to the upside, and it kind of retested. Price is stalling out right here. So we have 1 wick, 2 wicks, and price is just kind of quitting in this area. And at the time I entered, we had daily dots and 4-hour dots. So if we drop to the 1-hour, what did I see? I just pick a handful of trades like on Monday, Tuesday. Sometimes I'll pick a few more, and then I let them run. That's it. That's all I do. So give or take, if I entered in somewhere around here, we would have had triple arrows on the 1-hour, right? Money tree string line. And again, I was using the TDI. We'd have a crossover and a break, crossover and a break. There you go. But this one's just now getting into profit, so it kind of went against me a little bit, which means I would have had to wait. But it's just now into profit. Let's see. The odds are I got in some around here because I'm just now kind of on my live account. I'm barely in profit, so I get on one of these candles. Had all those wicks to the downside. You see that? Do you see all these wicks to the downside?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's got a lot of pressure, but it's still trying to push. So, but we knew that the chef was just super, super, super strong. We'll see what happens with it, but my bias for this is to buy. It is definitely to buy. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question? Peekaboo. Okay.
Jenny.
Hey, Angela.
Hi.
How's it going?
How you doing? Could you check gold for me? I have a trade going, but I'm kind of losing hope a little bit on it.
Gold wasn't ready yet.
Oh, okay.
So when did you enter? So I looked at this first because everyone in the group was talking about it. Like, again, depending on what indicators you have on your chart, it's not ready yet.
Okay, gold's not ready yet.
How much upside down are you?
I'm not much. Let me see how much it is. About $7.
Okay, so if I put my stop loss just above this, if it goes in my favor, great. Okay, so I put my stop loss like at 1329.91.
13 what?
1329.91.
13.21. I think that's about where my stop loss is.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's about at 13.20 right now.
Well, here's the thing. If it breaks this, then this sell is no longer valid anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So this is missing your little arrow. So you don't have to, like I was telling that gentleman, you don't have to have every confirmation, but you do need to have enough, okay? And this one doesn't have enough. So it's missing the bigger arrow, the middle, the little arrow. It did not break the 50. We have uncertainty in the ADX, or depending on which one of these you use or like to use. It's still, I'm assuming on the RSI, it's still going up. It's not coming down enough. So like this wasn't ready. So out of 15 things, you're missing like a big candle that proves momentum.
I am not in a sell. I'm in a buy.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not in a sell. I'm in a buy.
Why are you buying?
Because when I started, I checked the 4 hours and it was definitely in a buy. I just wanted to get, 10 pips. It went up to 9 and I should have taken it out at that time, and then it reversed, right? And now it's like I'm at minus 2.4. It keeps going in and out. So, yeah.
Okay, so if you're asking me, I'm not your financial advisor, but the way I trade and the reason why my accuracy is really high is because if I'm in profit, I move my stop loss up. So if it comes back and touches my stop loss, at least I closed in profit. But if it comes back and then hits my stop loss in negative, that's frustrating.
Okay.
So once you're up, always protect your up. And then if your bias was right, if your analysis was right, you're going to keep being up. But just in case it was wrong or not ready, because we're all human, no biggie, you closed out with some dollars and then you're good.
Oh, okay. All right.
And for future reference, when you see a move this big, wait for it to pull back.
Okay.
So like your US 30, trying to catch the rest of this buy that's been going pretty much, to heaven, because it's still going to heaven right now. Last time I looked, let's see if it's even 30. Oh my goodness, yeah. So you see this big move? Like, granted, this doesn't look very big, but this is an insane amount of pips. So, I mean, that's almost 7,000 pips. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, US 30 is really lovely and really mean at the same time. So, like, if I try to get in on this move, yes, I do believe it's going to go up, but I'm going to wait for a pullback. Okay. So I caught some of this, but I closed out because I trade this on a much, much smaller time frame. Much, much smaller time frame, because this is huge. This will knock out a 6-figure account easily. This, yeah, depending on your lot size, this will just say goodbye to the whole thing. Goodbye.
Oh, okay. And what's the least amount you can trade in the US 30?
It depends on what broker and it depends on who you ask. So for CoinEx,
Hugo's way.
Hugo's way, their spread on that's approximately 327 at any given time or more. So 327 pips, and they only have a 500 to 1 leverage. So
I'm in a group.
At least $400, and that's if you're really, really, really accurate. If you're not quite that accurate yet, you want way more.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in a group that started the US 30 trades with they said minimum was 150 to
on
70.
CoinEx.
On .001.
On what broker?
Hugo's way.
How many of them blew their account?
Nobody.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
so
because we're doing it as a
70 on Hugo's way
on US 30.
I mean,
everybody has flipped their accounts so far. We're a week ahead.
Okay, so for US 30 guys, it's possible. So on CoinEx, you can do technically $70, and they trade a standard lot. A standard lot, supposedly, it's $70 is all you need. However, here's the thing. I have almost a 4-week accuracy ratio with US 30. I've lost a total of 3 trades, and that's only when I entered against my rules. So that's really, really impressive. But the thing about 3 or 4 week winning ratios is, and people who can flip their accounts, that's fantastic. But then there's going to come the day when you didn't flip it, when you dropped it and it went against you. And it just happens so fast that it's a lot. So like if you
we
have
30, like, I'm not going to say 30 pips, but like we have a stop loss set every single time. And we only do it once a day. So every day at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
So that's a lot of people are trading the Asian market. Wait a minute, who is this talking? Are you the guy that I talked to with Alberto?
No.
Oh, Well, they have like that where they're only trading on the Asian session, right? But the Asian session has a higher spread for US 30, right? Typically speaking, and 7 p.m. Eastern time is definitely a higher spread. So, and that's just right after Asian Open. So that's around the time like where you can kind of decide the direction it's going. And check this out. So let me put a day thing on here. This is what we realized. I'm going to go to the hour chart just so you guys can see it. So you see these? These are the 4-hour supports. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to period. There we go. So to figure out the direction it's going for the day, this is Asian Open. Is really easy based off of just the buy-sell lines. Just the buy-sell lines. How many pips are you going for in that group?
They say 30, but it's not like 30 actual pips. It's just they basically subtract and add 30 from the whole number minus the decimal points for stop loss and take profit. So it usually ends up around $30 profit or loss on 0.001.
So you're going for about, so like I got really good at that on AFX, but then I moved it over to CoinEx. So I started my whole little routine over. So 30 pips on CoinEx. So the spread on CoinEx is only like 1 to 2 during New York. It can get as high as 9 during Asian session. But you got to think you're trading a standard lot. So their standard lot is equal to a $1 per pip, right? And using like that same 5 o'clock breakout mentality, because this would be, that's to say, that would be here. Oopsie, sorry guys. So just following the buy-sell lines, like that's a strategy that is working. But entry is key because you will blow your account. And I don't use a stop loss though.
Yeah, so they create buy stops and buy sells, and that's like the only way we trade it. So unless it,
so that's a good theory in theory, but the problem with that is that would be this candle. See where the yellow line is? Well, this is the 3 o'clock my time, 4 o'clock my time, 5 o'clock my time. So this is 7 o'clock. That's what this is. So when it breaks out above it, you're going for 30 pips. When it breaks below it, you're going for 30 pips, right?
yes.
Are they using like the previous hour? So they're using like an Asian big dog London breakout strategy.
I think so.
That's awesome. I don't do buy stops or sell stops because that's a late entry. So my stop loss is, I don't like my stop loss right there. But I know a guy who does really well with it. Does really well with the whole buy stop, sell stop thing. But this is where you'd be entering. So if you notice, there was a buy sell line that was confirmed, is not going to disappear, it's not going anywhere. You'd be looking for a buy. And granted, this isn't the same broker that I use. But if you got into a buy, minus the spread, this is 1,000 pips. So it's $100. Minus the spread on that. So if you got in here, but you should never trade US 30 on the 1 hour chart, ever. I trade US 30 on the 5-minute chart. So watch this. Let's go back to any of those. It's killer accurate, but your account has to hold it, and you can't be in a bunch of other trades. Like you said, $170 on Hugo's Way is enough.
No, they told us to start with 150 with like $30 extra, I guess. So like 180. And they only take one trade a day.
So this one right here, notice this is where I drew it. You'd be looking for a buy right around that time. And give or take minus your spread. If you waited for enough confirmations to get in. And you need to wait for enough confirmations. You want to have all 12 but 12 if you're trading US 30. This is your 100 pip move. Because the spread on this is 390 right now. Right? So 390, that's 100 pips. So on a 0.01, that's $10 on this broker. But it's different for every broker.
Yeah.
So right now it's 7 o'clock, and they have a buy stop, a sell stop in. Well, no, that was back here, right?
Yeah.
And then you'd be waiting for it to activate. How do they measure their buy sell stop?
So they put it like, they basically use a strategy where they like rerun it, where it bounces off one area of restriction to another. So they put it at like the very, like they put it at like the very end of an area of restriction or resistance, I mean. And then if it passes a certain point, then the buy stop activates, or if it sells too low.
So you see how I put the fractals on here? It's like once it broke these fractals, so it broke the previous high, if it breaks right here, you'd be looking for a buy. If it breaks
that's what,
right here, you'd be looking for a sell.
That's what they're doing.
This is confusing.
Sorry guys, it's kind of, US 30 is a beast. It'll definitely mess your head up. I'll take it all off. It's a lot of fun though. It's because so I started a trading worksheet, kind of like my other worksheets, with just US 30 to grow an account from $100 to six figures. So it's kind of cool. It's really cool.
So basically, day one was like the punishment day, because the people that didn't like, the people that thought it was like a game or whatever, they over leveraged or put their like stop loss too low, they woke up to like minus 100, minus 70 out of like the 150, 180.
Yeah.
But then like we all got it back again with like the next couple of trades. But the first day was like it was like the truth that made sure you knew like to stick to the rules.
Well, not bad. I mean, that's a 1-to-1 ratio, so that's awesome. But increasing your lot size with US 30 is a challenge for sure.
Yeah, because the people that flipped their accounts, they still stayed at 0.1, 0.01, 001. Yeah, it was 0.01. They haven't even flipped. They haven't even doubled the lot size yet.
I'm not doubling my lot size. I double my lot size on US 30 for CoinX every $300.
Yeah.
So, but it's totally not bad. Not bad at all. That's awesome, though. Okay, so we're back on US Mexican. Or are there any other questions, guys? Let's see. I'm going to go to the chat. How's my mic? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Okay. Sorry if whoever can't hear me.
Sorry, I have a question.
Hey, DJ, how's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. Hey, so you said wait for the price to pass the 50 EMA. Now, do you wait for that price to pass the 50 EMA on the 1 hour and the 4 hour, or just the 1 hour is fine?
My golden rule, and again, you're going to find your own golden rules, is I like to have it passed on the 1 hour. The 1 hour is good for me because that's enough. Like, so even if you didn't listen to any other time frames, like go back and test this. The more time you spend on the chart, the more you're going to see just most of the things people say, like it's all about how you can see the marketplace. And I can't say that enough. So take this whole 50 thing. You're waiting for a confirmed entry with whatever of your setups you're using, whichever one of your indicators you're using. When it breaks the 50, you're definitely going to get enough pips. When it actually breaks, and usually it'll retest the 50, but you get enough pips. And that's all it comes down to. So if I looked at no other time frame but the 1 hour, okay, just the 1 hour, and I followed my rules, wow, my chart's going crazy. There we go. And I followed my rules like super religiously, like it had to be perfect or I don't enter it. Your accuracy will be somewhere in the high, if you're super new, maybe 80s, but as you get better, your accuracy will be in the 90th percentile just by following rules.
Okay, Jenny, hi, it's Angela.
Hey, Angela.
Could you show me again how to put in the 50 line? I don't know how to do that.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so up here you have an indicators folder. It's one of the easiest to access ones.
Mm-hmm.
To trend.
Okay, to trend. Mm-hmm.
Moving average next.
Moving average. I think I tried that, but I didn't have it in mind.
Everyone's got moving average.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So it's 50, 0, exponential, close,
50.
and then white. Well, whatever color you like. I like white. It's clean. At least for my colors anyway. Hit OK, and then it'll go there.
Okay. All right.
So I'm going to show you again. Like mine's right here, but it's only because I use it frequently. Yours is probably under trend.
Okay.
And then moving average.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let's see.
Jenny, how come you did exponential and so simple? Is it just a varying moving average that you prefer?
I'm sorry, can you say that again, Austin?
Why is yours exponential for the 50? Is it just like your preference?
Exponential is faster. It's closer to price.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what the differences was for those.
No, it's okay. Let me see if I can move this for you. One. It won't let me. Cancel. Close. So watch. Do you see where it's at right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not going to be the best example, but I just want you to see it. So no.
Okay, I got it. I got it.
Awesome.
Okay, I got it. I think I better save
I saw it
this.
switch, Jenny, when I moved mine from simple to exponential.
Okay, so you saw it?
Yeah.
See, it moves. It's a little bit smoother, but it moves a little bit slower. So I kind of like my exponential better.
So did you just what did you just create? The
50 moving average.
And let's see.
Guys, like traders, big banks, they trade with the 50 moving average.
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, how's it going? I got a question. Could we take a look at New Zealand Swiss on the 4 hour and the 1 hour? Because based on your rules, I kind of see it lining up, and I just wanted to see if that was something, or if that's, am I in the going in the right direction?
Okay, so what do you see? Well, let's go to the 4 hour. Yeah, let's do top down. And
so on the 4,
pretty simple, guys. So on the 4 hour, whatever oscillators you use, are they lining up?
Yes. I see the triple arrows. I see the daily dots. All the indicators at the bottom are crossing over. And then if you take a look at the 1 hour, I'm pretty much getting the same thing, and it's also over the 50 EMA. So would you say that?
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, would that be? I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna take it, but I'm just looking. But would you say that would be like a good, decent setup?
Do you have a demo account?
I do have a demo account, and I also have a live account that I take little micro lots on.
It's okay. Take it.
Okay.
Just here, ready, take it and see what happens. Because when your eyes start to see stuff, that's the best. So we have here, again, there's 1,000 ways to trade, guys, and you're going to find your set of rules. But this is the 4 hour, right? We have confirmation, which confirmation on the 4 hour is hard to come by because it takes a long time. But you have your big arrow, little arrow, yellow arrow, 4 hour, daily, money tree string line, and now we broke the 50, and we broke it with some momentum. This candle's obviously not closed yet. We'd want that to close to count, right? So let's click down to the 1 hour. Let's see. On the 1 hour, we have a nice break. It even passed this daily support line, this 4 hour dot. So it's going to pull back. But the fact that it broke above it, to me, is really good. And that's what I saw even on the 4 hour. And here's what else I see. Like, my eyes can see this. Your guys' eyes will eventually see this. But I can draw this just so you can see it plain as day. We also have that it broke the trend. Do you see that? So this was trending down. It broke that. So it's probably going to come back up and retest. It broke the 50, retested that, right? Can you see that?
Yes.
That's a trend. Like, that can be one of your confirmations, which, again, my eyes can see because I've been trading for a little longer. But your eyes will eventually be able to see, wait a minute, this totally changed trend direction. So do you see, know if I zoom out, if it will let me? Again, see this big trend line? This trend line is basically 1, 2, run it through. So 1 touch, 2 touch, run it through. So it broke the trend, came back up. So this would be the break. It retested it, okay? And now it's still going in that direction. So yeah, I would take that.
Jenny.
Cool.
Hello, Jenny.
Hey, who's this?
Dorian.
Nolam?
Dorian?
Oh, sorry. I think it says Nolam on your thing. I actually have my Zoom on here so I can see y'all's names. It's kind of nice. But go ahead.
My friend's computer. Hi, I was wondering if you could give us an update on the trade that you were in. It was a swing trade during last session. I'm curious.
Euro NZD?
I believe so.
I just went over that, but I will go over it again. Hey, okay. The guy who asked about New Zealand Swiss, so this is a currency strength indicator. New Zealand is getting strong, and it got really strong quick. So this, yeah, I would take that.
All right, well, thanks.
You are welcome. That's a good trade. Like, I'm already in 2 Swiss pairs, so I won't be in any more. And I'm in Euro NZD too. So last time I checked, I was up. Let's see. So I'm going to zoom this out. So on my live account, I was up. When did you take an entry with me? So I've been in this trade a couple of times. I'm in it now, which, as I just went over, I think I got back in on the daily dot or on the 4 hour dot to take it back down. So I got in on one of these candles, give or take. What is it you wanted to see, Dorian?
I forgot which term it was, but it was a long-term trade that you had. You were hoping that it would reverse so you could get out of it. I believe that was on the 29th of May.
No, that's not this one. That's GJ. I'm still in that GJ trade, and that account has been locked up on GJ. I made a newbie mistake, not following my own rules. I traded a gap on a Sunday, and I traded the gap very, very heavy because I'm very, very successful with gaps. Having said that, that is my largest account, and I've been hedging it all the way down, so I've hedged it quite a bit. I am still holding that trade, but thank God it's moving in my direction now. So, yeah, that's a different trade.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, but this trade's a good trade. Yeah, this is the one I'm in now from this week, and I took some of it last week, but it closed all out. So, yes, sir. Are there any other pairs or questions that you guys want me to look at or talk about?
Hey, Jenny.
Good, Judy. Tim here.
Oh, hey, Tim, let me get to Fancy, and then I was just talking about your daily dots. So if you watch the recording, you'll be able to hear about it. But let Fancy go real quick. She spoke up just before you, and then you will be next, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Hey, Fancy.
So on the NZD CHF, the one you was just talking about.
Yes, ma'am.
Wouldn't that on a sale? Wouldn't it be too late to get in?
But we wouldn't. Okay, wait a minute. Why would we be selling this?
On mine, it look like a sale.
Why does it look like a sell?
It's the NZD CHF, right?
NZD CHF. What time frame are you on?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's a buy. It's a buy on the hour.
Yeah.
But it's like so far up there. I see the triple arrows. I see the bird. I see the dots. But it's like all the way up there already.
Yeah, it's wicked up though. See that really heavy wick? Like the safest play would be to wait for the dots to reappear. The safest play would be to kind of let it pull back a little bit before it continues. That is the safest play, but this isn't moving up. Okay.
Okay.
But it depends on how you want to trade. Like, so how much farther will it come back down? I don't know, because again, it's if I zoom out, it's stuck around this area for a while. So when it goes to take off, the odds are it's going to take off. This isn't a super heavy mover. So let me zoom back out now. So worst case scenario, like even if you made your, sorry, my zoom bar is in the way, so it's not letting me, let's see. There we go. So even if you put your stop loss from where it's at now below the previous, it's still only a 40 pip stop loss.
Okay.
So you can wait for it to pull back a little bit. Kind of pay attention to your oscillators. You can do that. You can put like a pending limit order. But like I said, I like how it broke this previous high. It did break that. It wicked down, granted, but it broke it.
Okay.
So the odds are it's going to play around a little bit and then go back up.
Okay. All righty. I would have been, if I would have saw it, I would have probably passed it up, not understanding it.
No, that's okay. That's the whole idea is once you have your rules, write down your rules for entry, your rules for re-entry, your rules for exit and take profit.
Okay.
And you're going to be surprised if you treat this like a career, like it will become a career.
Okay. All righty. Thanks, Jenny.
You're welcome. Hey, Tim, how's it going? Tim, can you hear me?
I'm here, Jenny. I don't know.
Hey, Guy, how are you?
Well, trying to hang in here as best I can here. You said you'd told me that I need to learn the 4-hour candle close times, but I don't remember that at all. And I can't understand even how you'd have a deliberate all the time opening and closing time for a 4-hour candle.
Okay, so remember before you joined SuperEZ and I said, hey, there's a lot of stuff you need to know, practice on YouTube if you're not going to join IML, or if you're not going to, you got to learn, right? So I told you that I had the 4-hour candles written down in Mountain Standard Time, right?
I don't
That's okay, but we talked about, look, we go over a lot of stuff, so like it's impossible to remember everything. Like we learned with other companies and stuff, some things are taught, some things are caught. And this is a ton of information. So the reason why it's really important to know like the beginning of like big candles, for instance, your monthly candle, the first day of the month, the last day of the month, the first day of the week, because look, let's go to a bigger time frame real quick. And the reason why we talked about this is pretty simple. That's super ugly, sorry. It's not going to be super visible on this really slow moving pair, but you'll get the gist. If it will let me. So do you know how this wick is created? It's because while this is a weekly candle, that means it pushed that hard on Monday or Tuesday and then spent the entire week going the other way, right?
Okay.
So wicks are created by the first part of the move. So
okay.
The first part of the 4-hour candle, that's how wick is created. The first part, unless it's a doji and then it's both parts, right?
Okay.
But a wick is created because, and forgive me, I'm still human, so I explain it to the best of my ability. This is how this is created. So on Monday or Sunday night Asian Open, which is Monday morning, this wick was created and then it moved. That's when you understand that, it changes everything. So the reason why the candle closing, again, we've talked about when you're trusting indicators, you should really be trusting them according to a closed candle. Again, Pat trades differently, but if you're asking me, nothing you see is valid until the candle closes. So this candle that's currently open, this daily candle, means absolutely nothing to me. The closed one does, okay?
Right.
On whatever time frame I'm trading.
Right.
So like if you get a daily dot and that candle's not closed, price could technically keep pushing, correct?
Okay, right.
But once that candle closes, the odds, the disappear rate, the repaint rate is much, much lower. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So again, this isn't like the super best pair to show you on, but let's take a look. So when this candle finally closed and could not push any higher, then we know we actually have support. Okay, we actually have something of value, something of substance. But until the candle closes, technically it can just move and move and move and move, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same concept on the 4 hour. You should know the 4 hour times in your time zone. And the reason being is because this dot we see becomes valid when that candle closes. Until it closes, technically it can move and move and move and move and move. Any indicator, leading and lagging indicator, that's the same thing. That's the reason why if I look at this, it'll be pointing up, but then later it'll be pointing down because those candles weren't closed yet or made yet. So all this stuff can happen afterwards, right? But when I saw this, it might be pointing up.
Okay, even right now, I don't understand. Is it just based on a certain pair? When a 4 hour, when a candle closes, I mean, it's still Greek. I mean, I know it's real obvious to you because you deal with this. I don't know what you really mean, what time is for that 4 hour candle closing.
Okay, so you're in Central Time, right?
Oh, yeah.
So grab a pen and paper. Let me make a mess of myself in public, okay?
I got it. I don't care. It's not going to bother me. I'm used to looking like an idiot once in a while. I don't care.
No, it's okay. I'm about to look like an idiot because I live in Mountain Time. So everything I say, you're going to add an hour because you live in Central Time, right?
Add an hour. That's right.
Okay, ready? So my time is, I'm even getting a pen and paper. Let's see. There's my baby little
right now, you're 8:35, 8:25.
So 3 p.m. my time, which is what time for you?
3 p.m. is 4 p.m. Central.
Okay, write that down. That's the opening of your first 4 hour candle.
Opening first 4 hour. Is that for any pair or what?
Well, yeah, every pair. This is the Forex market.
Opening first 4 hour candle.
Yep. Okay, so what's 4 hours from that?
It's 8 o'clock.
That's correct. So that's 7 p.m. my time. It's 8 p.m. your time, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what's 4 hours from that?
So what do you mean by that? You asked me what's 4 hours beyond that. It's 8 o'clock. So what about 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock is the time that the next candle closes and opens, your 4 hour candle. So you're going to write this down real quick. Okay. So what's 8 plus 4 is what?
8 plus 4 is 12.
Yes, sir. So 12 p.m. or I guess at 12 a.m., huh?
12
is your next candle, right?
Yep.
And then what's your next one?
Would be 4 a.m.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's your next one?
8 a.m.
Yes, sir. What's your next one?
It'd be 12 noon.
Okay. So this is when the 4 hour candles close, right?
Well, I wouldn't know it if you hadn't just told me because I don't understand that really in the sense.
Well, that's time zone. So again, the time zone stuff kind of, when you're trading, you don't think it's important, but then you're like, oh man, this might actually be important. So it is actually important because this happened in a 4 hour time period, right?
Right.
This dot doesn't matter so much until this candle closes, okay?
Okay.
You don't know what's happening until this candle closes. You want that candle to close.
Okay.
And knowing what time a candle opens, again, so this wick, well, that's not fair, that's a doji, but this wick happened first. So that information, it's irrelevant. So this was a bullish candle, and then it pulled back, right? So the end, that last hour, price pulled back. So knowing the first hour and the last hour of the 4-hour candle, especially when price is moving like this, it's heavy, is really, it'll save you from entering in at the wrong time, because the opening, so any of those times you just wrote down, okay, at that moment, price could technically go against what you're wanting it to do for a little while to make its wick, and then you would still be right.
Okay, so it's just, these are the hours of the 4-hour candle, opening and closing of them. Okay.
Yeah. So when you daily dot at those times.
See, conceptually, I had no idea what you've even been talking about. You're just outside of my box altogether.
It's
but
okay.
I understand this. So going around the clock, the 4-hour candles open and close each of these times. So if one is open, okay, that's making sense. So you want to know, go ahead.
Your trading day is from 4 p.m. Central Time, right?
Right.
To the following day at 3:59 Central Time.
Right. Okay.
So your average daily range is based off of that. Your average daily high and low is based off of that time. Your daily dots is based off of that time. What price does at the beginning of that daily candle, sometimes it'll go against you to make a wick. That whole first hour of the day, that first few minutes of a 4 o'clock candle, people don't understand that sometimes price has to do what it's got to do first, and then it'll go the direction it's supposed to go. But understanding the time frame you're trading on it potentially is useful information once you learn to use it.
Okay. So, and then in combination with this in the Stairmaster, then looking at the stair steps, I guess, then knowing it's going to open or close, the next one's going, knowing when it's going to open and close gives you some kind of
trust. It gives you trust. So if this happens at that time, right? And granted, this is the 4-hour time frame, and it's got this little pretty doji, okay? And now you have 2 dots. So you have 1 and you have 2 dots. So let's say, well, yeah. Hold on. I know this answer. Again, I'm making a fool of myself. Hold on. So 7 p.m. So this candle opened an hour and a half ago. It's really not doing much. Am I right? Yeah, I think I'm right. So this little tiny amount here is an hour and a half old. This little baby amount. So this, yeah, I think I'm right. So if this happened right here at 3 p.m. my time, 4 p.m. your time, this happened right here at noon your time, now you've got 2 dots. So now to know that you're trusting this to go up a little bit more, again, for maybe half of the average daily range, now you've got trust in that. When you first see the first dot, let's be honest, we don't know if we can trust it. So the point is to find enough trust in the systems and the indicators you're using. All you're doing is making a case with the evidence you have in front of you. So when you see that 1 dot on the 4-hour, it should theoretically be worth 8 dots. So 4 dots and 4 dots. See this?
Right, I see that.
That would be 4. That's one 4-hour candle. This is 1 4-hour candle, right?
Not that I say I understand that, but
it gives you a different level of trust. So on the daily chart, the 4-hour chart, sorry, this one's forming, although there's really nothing there yet. It shows you can trust it. I don't know how better to say it. So if there's anyone online that can maybe say it better than me, it gives you trust in the system. So if this closed and you have 1 4-hour piece of evidence that say, hey, price is stalling here. Now you have another 4-hour piece of evidence that says, hey, price is stalling here. And we have enough proof even on this really icky move, which is not pretty. It's not sexy, right? Here, let's make it bigger. Okay. Let's just take this, again, super ugly move. Oopsie. Ugly. Okay. So, ugly move right here.
Right now.
Once we had a couple of dots. Hey, Guy, I can hear somebody talking. So if you're not Tim, please mute your line.
It's coming. It's in the work.
Hey, Michael. Hey, you there?
Hey, yo. Hey, I can't hear you because I'm at work. Hey, close the door home.
Michael, mute your line real quick, guy.
Close the door just 4 minutes. You're talking to me.
Dude.
Hey, Jenny, I'm sorry. You need me to mute it out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Mute you real quick because I can hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm still at work. I'm sorry.
You're okay. I'm just picking on you. I'm going to call you out because I can see your name today. So, yay. Okay, Tim, what I was saying is even on this really ugly move, which isn't fair because, again, you don't have enough other confirmations. But let's go to the first ugly move that you have a few confirmations, right? You have a buy here and a buy here, just using these two. MACD cross the zero, using those three. So we have a couple of dots, right?
Mm-hmm.
It shows you can trust it, okay? So this candle closed and that dot stayed. This candle closed and that dot stayed. These are each 4 hours, right?
You can't count the dot staying unless candle closes.
The candle closes, yes. So you could have easily got, okay, half of your average daily range, okay? Easy. Okay, that's what I'm trying to show you guys. So now pop down to the 1 hour. Every one of these dots is worth 4 hours. Sorry, 4 dots is worth 1 hour. Whatever, you guys know what I'm saying. So this is worth 4 hours. This is worth 4 hours. Notice how that on the hour time frame, this doesn't have 12. And
you're dropping the hour. Okay. Yeah, when you're on the hour setting, each dot equals the hour. Okay, I see what you're saying there.
Yeah, but notice how this only has 8, and the 4 hour would technically have 12 dots worth. That's the reason why it's relevant, is because you want that candle to close for it to count. This candle didn't close in the right spot for this to count, for these to stay. Does that make sense?
Right.
It just gives you a safer move. It gives you an ability to trust what you see.
Okay.
So those times are important.
Okay, well, I think I can absorb that one here. I have to think about that a little bit here. And regarding using the daily dot, you have to have that daily SR settings already put in with your support resistance dots.
Change it to yellow.
And for it to be a daily dot, do you have to be on the daily hour setting there at the top?
No, again, so I've got my daily dots are on this, they're yellow, right? But it doesn't really matter until the daily candle closes.
Okay.
So notice how there's not nearly as many dots on this as there are on the smaller time frames. Because the daily candle has to close for this to count.
Okay. And you have to have your time setting at the top. It has to be on D1 for that to be counted as a daily dot. Is that correct?
Can you repeat that, please?
Okay. The settings, you have your M1, your M5, your M15. You have to have it on D1 for your daily dot SR to count as a daily dot. Is that correct?
Yes, but they'll still show up. So watch, if I go down to the 15-minute time frame, it'll still show up.
Yeah, it shows up.
That's the 4 hour.
So those are still daily dots. Those are still represents a day.
Yes.
Each dot.
Again, it doesn't count, at least if you're asking me, until the candle closes.
Closes, right.
And everybody trades a little bit differently. All I can tell you is once you get your rules down and you get really good at them, you'll know where you can break them. You'll know that. So like the gentleman had asked me, I got in before the break of the 50. Technically I did, but I had other confirmations that broke my trend line. I had my currency strength. So of X amount of confirmations, I have 15. I still had enough confirmations. And when you build your trading plan based off of that, like I told you the other day, Tim, like create your rules, okay? And then if you just do that, okay, just create rules and say, I need these things to line up. And I have 12 pieces of evidence, and they need to line up perfectly. Like the lady the other night on the call, like she was dead set that everything lined up, but when she looked back, technically it didn't line up, right? And that's not bad. We've all been there. Lord knows I've been there. But when you do that and you say, okay, I want the perfect trade, so I'm patient, I'm going to take 12 out of 12, or I have a better understanding and knowledge, so I'm going to take 10 out of 12. When you do that, you're going to have insane amounts of success.
Mm-hmm.
But make sure that you're looking for a perfect move. If it's like super choppy like this, just stay out of it. Say, I don't like the way that looks. I don't want to risk it. I don't want to play. I don't want to get stuck in that consolidation. Cool, then don't play.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Jenny.
So with that being said here, again, with Pat's idea, I mean, I've been on this for 3 weeks right now. It's about time I've been able to put it to work. But going from the 4 hour to the 15-minute to be able to do the Stairmaster.
I don't do the 15-minute. I can't help you there. I'm sorry.
But you understand what he's doing there, I guess.
Well, of course I understand it. I just don't do it. So I'm not the person to ask. Because that's not my strategy. Like, so he has his skills and his abilities, and he can teach you on that. I cannot. I don't use the 15-minute time frame. When I do, I use a different strategy and for a different reason.
Okay.
Okay, so I can't help you on that. Like, if you're just looking at the Stairmaster, ready? Well, let's go to this real quick. Wait for your next daily dots so you want the candle to close, okay?
Okay.
We know that this is a downtrend, so you want the candle to close, which means you're going to look again at, I guess, midnight your time. See if there's a dot that appears in the direction of the arrows. Take it. There you go. For me, if you're asking me about the Stairmaster, if you're asking me about the Stairmaster, what I would tell you is I don't give a darn what the 15-minute time frame is doing. I don't care at all. Right. I'm not going to check it. I'm not going to look. I don't care what's on it. None of my business, not my concern, not my problem at all. And that sounds kind of harsh, but it's a dead honest truth. So take the Euro NZD. Hold on. So when I entered this trade, hold on. I entered it based off of this. I did not bother to drop down to the 15-minute time frame. I don't care what the 15-minute time frame is doing.
You're just going from the 4 hour to the 1 hour, though, right? That's
correct. So this is in direction with the 4 hour. I like the way it's set up. I like how it was breaking the 50. Again, I take that 50 pretty seriously. It's in direction. I've got enough confirmation. Boom, I pull the trigger. It's that simple. Like, I don't care what the 15-minute time frame is doing. Because here's the deal. Anything that happens on a bigger time frame is more accurate than on the smaller time frame, if you're asking me.
So you're looking for a triple arrow on the 1 hour then, in that case, as a support. Going from the 4 hour, like a daily dot, to a triple arrow on 1 hour. Is that the case?
So I would take this trade. Okay, in this trade, it broke the 50. This is everything lined up here at some point. This is like a whole day to find this trade, right? Give or take. I don't know how much time this is, but just for conversation purposes. So this is the 23rd at 10 to, give or take, it retested anywhere even in here. The 23rd, was that right? Am I right? Yeah, 23rd at 10 a.m. 24th at 5. Moneyline trade 24th at 10. 24 hours. This is 24 hours to find this trade and see it, right? I would take this trade. Now, having said that, I'd also take this trade. See how it bounced off the 50? Everything kind of lined up. New crossover on the MACD. Okay, I have enough confirmations. Price is still going in the direction, right? I would not take, I mean, if I wanted to scalp it, maybe I would take this as a buy, but I don't typically counter trend scalp. If I do scalp, again, I do it differently. I don't use this system for scalping. So I would take this trade, again, in the same direction, right? I would have taken this trade. I have enough confirmations, everything lined up, boom. I would have taken this trade. I did take this trade.
Okay. But again, you are using the triple arrow on the 1 hour then to be your other part. You go from a daily dot on 4 hour to a triple arrow on the 1 hour.
I go, if my 4 hours are pointing up, I'm looking for buys. I'm looking for buys.
Right.
Okay. So your question is phrased in a way that I can't answer it accurately, because what I'm looking for is a 4 hour setup and confirmation on the 1 hour, no matter what that is. So whatever the 4 hour setup is, okay, so this was all buying, I would be looking for buys. All of this, I'd be looking for buys.
Okay. So
that's what I'm doing.
Okay, so the 1 hour is showing all buys. Okay, on your
no, my 4 hour. I'm looking for the direction of my 4 hour. Okay.
Yep.
I'm taking the trade on the 1 hour.
Okay.
In the same direction as the 4 hour. I do not look down at the 15-minute. I do not check what the 30-minute is doing. I don't really care if I have enough confirmation.
Okay. Okay. So are you then setting your stop loss on the 1 hour then generally?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I set my stop loss right above the lines.
Okay.
Because the truth is, like, I did do the big arrow, which is a slightly bigger stop loss, and I have all kinds of data. I have like 4 months of data based off of the big arrow, which I'm not going to fib when I say it does increase your accuracy just marginally. But here's the reality. Once it breaks this line or this line, the trade is invalid anyways. The trade is invalid anyways. And when you're taking any of those stair steps, you're only going for like half of the average daily range. That's it.
Right. I know you said that.
You're not taking this for 100 pips. You need to have a take profit. Again, if you're asking me my trading style, you need to have a take profit. And when you do that, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, every trade I opened today closed in profit. Holy cow, every trade I opened today closed in profit. Like, it's super, super easy.
Well, 3 weeks is enough for me to try to get this figured out. I mean, I've put my dead level best into it, and it's nothing at all like the swing trades like it was for me early on, or the triple arrows. So I've got to get this nailed down.
Well, then stick with the triple arrows. Look for a new setup on the 4 hour and stick with the triple arrows. And turn on the 1 hour, and as long as the 4 and 1 hour line up, take the trade.
Seemed like the Uncle Pappy idea worked better for me now, called the entry arrow with the big arrow.
Use that.
Well, I just want to do the Stairmaster since I've been so sold on it now. So that's all.
Well, wait, Tim, listen. If the Uncle Pappy, there's a gentleman in the group. I don't want to mess up his name. I think it's Escrow.
Okay.
But he, I don't know how to say it. I'm pretty sure it's ESCRO.
That sounds right. An escrow.
I know something, but listen. He says, look, the Uncle Pappy system is still killing it for me. Like, that system worked. It's the same thing, but just turn the setting on the Seabird or entry arrow to 21, and it's the same concept. I've
already done that.
Okay, so then add the profit filter, add the help line, and the MACD and whatever other indicators are part of that. He's got a screenshot in the group, and use that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Yep. Well.
Jenny?
Hey, Connie. You're welcome.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
If I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying that you don't necessarily have to wait for the 3 arrows on the 1 hour. As far as you have more confirmation, you take the trade. Is that correct?
Yeah, so listen. I don't know if this is going to be a good example, but let's take it, okay? Ready? Let's not look for the perfect example, because the market is not perfect, and we usually don't find a perfect example. So right now we're on the 4 hour chart. Let's pretend we don't see this big arrow, because now it made a huge drop, right? Let's pretend. So I see this right here. The daily dots came up, it kind of retested the 50 and broke below it. I'm going to draw a line, right?
Right.
Hold on. So I don't really have enough confirmations on my 4 hour, but I dropped to my 1 hour. Somewhere in one of these candles, again, we don't know which one. So we're just kind of playing it by ear. But one of these candles, right? Come on, silly head. Hold on. Here we go. So let's say any of these candles here. That's one of those candles. And we see this money tree line. We've got 2 arrows, buy, sell. I'm going to delete this now. It broke the 50. This is saying sell. It's got momentum to the upside. This broke the 0. It's facing the right direction. And this crossed, okay? We have enough in here to take it in any one of these trades for half of the daily range. So you have enough confirmations. That's based off of your rules. So you got in here, okay, you would have closed out there. If you got in later, okay, I mean, this trade happened to work out for well more, but there we go. You definitely got your average daily range. Even if you got in later,
right,
you would have got your average daily range, because you had enough confirmation to take this, or even just 20 or 30 pips. If it's a fast mover, go for 30 pips. If it's a slow mover, go for 20 pips.
Okay.
Or 15. Like, and you can totally do that. And you're going to be right more often than not.
Okay. That's good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Jenny.
Hey, Anil.
Hi. Can we look at GBP NZD?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
The arrow moved on that, so I'm kind of, it was on the 4 hour, on the 1 hour there was a triple arrow, and and the 4 hour didn't have the triple arrow, but the arrow moved now further up, the big arrow.
Yes.
I
So
had taken position in the morning, and the 1 hour had the triple arrow one place before that. So
okay, so GBP has been pushing down hardcore. I'm pretty confident that the buy-sell lines were not here. I'm very confident of that because I was playing on this on a different account on my scalping stuff. So did you see any buy-sell lines or no?
I don't remember in the morning taking up. We were looking at it in the morning with Pat, and it looked good at that time.
Did he
I don't
take that
remember if the buy-sell arrows were buy-sell dots were there or not. I'm not sure about that. Right now, I don't see them.
Did you take the trading class?
Yes, I was there.
What I'm asking is, did he take the trading class?
Yes. Well,
Yes,
How many hours ago was that, guys?
that was 8 a.m.
So
Right.
trading time, let's see.
Or 9. I think 9 Central, or what time is it? Or
9
9
Eastern.
9 Eastern. Yeah.
Did it close in profit?
No, it was hanging around there, very not moving much, and now suddenly it dropped. The last maybe couple of hours.
Did anybody else take this trade?
I
Somebody had shown this trade, and I guess they took it probably. And I also thought it was a good trade according to the way we were discussing it.
Mike, is that you trying to step up? Did you take this trade?
Well, I didn't, only because I didn't have enough money to, but I would have if I was able to.
Okay.
And it seemed like it was off and running. I know last time we checked, it was over 20 pips, easy, in maybe about 10 minutes, I think. But no, I didn't take it. I wish I.
Yeah, it did go up like 20 pips for a little while, and then it's been almost not much movement.
Okay, so Neil, again, Pat trades different than I do. And that's kind of a blessing and maybe even a little curse because you have to learn everything. But here's the deal. If I'm up 20 pips, baby, trust me, I'm going to move my stop loss into profit, okay? When I'm up 20 pips, so like let's say you entered here, give or take, that's around the time you guys took the trade, I would have moved my stop loss into profit, okay? Which means if it reversed, I still get money. And if it goes in my favor, then I'm safe, right? But if it reversed and it wasn't ready yet, then I'm safe. Guys, I think trading is only about learning how to make your accuracy really high. I think it's about getting really good at, because once your accuracy is high, you can do great things. But until you get your accuracy down, let's see, it's my daughter. She's calling from her little camp. 1 second here. I'm going to message her.
Take your time.
She's at the Air Force Academy. She's part of this really prestigious group.
Awesome.
Let's see, overview. Oh. Okay. Okay, gotcha. So like I was saying, when I'm in 20 pips in profit, I'm going to protect my profit. That's how I trade. Not everybody trades that way. I know a lot of successful people who do not do that, but I do, okay? So all we can do is like try to improve what we're doing to get better. So that's the first thing I can tell you, because when we analyze these trades together, the whole point is analyzing them in a way that we can learn from it. It doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong. It doesn't matter if I'm right or the guy down the street is right. That doesn't matter if that doesn't make our bank account grow.
Correct.
The first tip that I can give you is number one, always move your stop into profit. Okay? Always. Number two, wait for it to break the 50. Especially for you guys who are new. You don't have enough market understanding yet. And if it breaks the 50, your odds of being right are in the 90th percentile. Okay? Like you are going to be so right so often that it's scary. And you will be doing good. So like take this one, for example. If you waited for it to break the 50, you got plenty of pips, okay? Easy. And then the third thing I would tell you is I was I was lucky enough to be part of a group that had what I would consider a master trader. However, when he gave us signals, I usually lost. He was a great trader, but I always lost on his signals. So I was massively frustrated. What I learned from that is I don't take signals from anybody. Unless I see a burning bush in my living room, I'm just not taking somebody's signals. Like if Pat or Jenny or me or anybody else gives you a signal and says, hey, this looks good, don't you dare take that trade unless you think it looks good too, unless it meets your rules, okay?
Right.
And that's how you're going to grow. Because if you take my signals and this other group and Telegram and this other guy and Pat, like all you're going to do is know what somebody else did or didn't do. It's not going to help you become the kind of trader that will buy your mother a house, right?
Right. So what is the analysis now on this trade? Is headed down or is it going to, it's way at the bottom already.
Yeah, it's, okay, so so right now we did not break the zero on the MACD, right?
Right.
You guys don't want to wait for the 50, at least wait for the zero on the MACD. We've got a crossover on the MACD that says this is selling. And the reason why I would be looking for sells on this is because it just broke previous resistance, right?
Right.
Here I can draw a line. It broke this one and made a new low, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is kind of the resistance area. It broke that and made a new low. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Hello?
I'm here.
So what is, I stepped off a little bit. What exactly is breaking the 50 again? Because I saw you pointing at the lines.
This is your 50 moving average.
Okay.
So when price breaks above or below that, that's the direction market is at. When when price breaks above this, you have a lot more chances of being accurate, okay? Because this is a trend reversal system. This is either a counter trend or a trend reversal system, which means when we get our signals, we're looking for a pullback or we're looking for it to actually change trend. So what decides that trend has changed? So like, again, we're on the 1 hour chart. Let's see.
So the candles literally have to cross the line pretty much.
Yeah, so this trend is down. This is going down. Do you see that?
Yes.
So you want some kind of confirmation that says this is turning around, okay? So you want it to break this line, okay? 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, right? You want it to break that, or you want it to break the 50, right? You want it to the price is turning around. Until it turns around, it's not a confirmed trend change. And notice how well that works over here. And go back and test this out. So test the whole system to say, hey, when price broke this, did it go down? Yes. Did it go down? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's all we're doing, guys, is just when price breaks it, that's how we know. So even this baby trend right here, same thing. This was trending down, it broke it, we know we can trust the signal. Price was trending up, okay?
So we start with big arrow and then draw around that segment, draw the line, trend line.
No, you're drawing the line based off of candlesticks. So see how this is, well, you can't see it because it's really zoomed out, but hold on. There we go. So like you see the candles, you want price. A trend line basically means where price has touched a few times. So this would be a trend line.
Because usually the big arrows come before the trend line, we cross the trend line. We get the triple arrows.
Predictive, yes. 1, 2, it's predictive.
Right. So So then how do the triple arrows help? That means we don't really need the triple arrows.
No, you definitely need the triple arrows. Otherwise, you're just looking at price for no reason. The triple arrows tells you what's coming. Okay. The triple arrows tells you what's coming. They guide you. Okay. That's what they do. They guide you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but now let's say it moved and before even, and we are not getting anywhere close to the trend line.
Okay, triple arrows moved because price wasn't ready yet.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So price wasn't ready, and that's going to happen. That's why Pat, more accurately, created the system the way he did. So he's got a leading indicator as well as lagging indicator.
Yeah, I understand that part. It's a predictive one, so you cannot 100% rely on it.
That's why you're not 100% relying on it.
I understand that.
But I don't know what you guys saw on the call this morning. I have no idea, but I'm assuming there was no buy sell dots over here, okay? Because they would still be here. Price didn't break this.
Yeah, because sometimes these things do change, even those dots disappear sometimes, so I'm not 100% sure. But it did look very nice in the morning.
Yeah, I think we had triple arrows on
yeah, 1 hour. We had triple arrows on the 1 hour, and we had the big arrow on the 4 hour.
Okay.
Okay, so price went 20 pips in your favor, or give or take. If you moved the stop loss in the profit, so once you were up by 10 pips, change your stop loss to break even. Okay? That would have avoided all of the problem, number one.
Yes, I agree. I think that's a good way to manage it.
That's the management, and rules are going to be the only way you'll be successful. So if you can't manage a trade, even if you find 100 of the best trades in the world, if you don't manage them well, then you're still going to lose.
Yes, I get that.
And as for anything else, I can't verify what you guys saw because I wasn't there. And I wasn't looking at the charts this morning either. But I can say that if you managed your trade, you would have closed in profit. I can also tell you a few other tips to help you be more accurate, okay?
Mm-hmm.
A few other tips to help you be more accurate are wait for it to break the 0 line on the MACD. Wait for it to break a trend line, okay?
Okay.
Wait for it to break the 50 moving average. Choose any of those as confirmation, and you will be accurate more percentage of the time.
Okay.
And here's the deal. If you have like a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio, you only have to be right 30 some odd % of the time.
Correct.
If you have a 2-to-1 or like a 2.5 to 1, you can be wrong over 60%. I think it's over whatever, it's close to 60% of the time and still be profitable. This is all just numbers, guys.
So a 3-to-1 ratio would be like risking 10 pips for like a 30 prof, like TP type thing.
Yes, that's correct.
All right.
So you can still be wrong a whole bunch and still make a ton of money. So being wrong isn't something you guys should worry about. It's how to increase the amount of times you're right. Being wrong is going to come, check it off the list, okay? That's all you guys can do with it. But now how do we increase it to where next time you're slightly more right? So the next time, how do we increase it? Number 1, move your stop into profit. Number 2, wait for it to break the 50 on the hour, okay? Those are some ways to really be protective, right? But you guys, if you've watched my other recordings, you know that I don't trade based off of just this cross. I want price preferably to break the 0 on the MACD. Okay, I don't trade just based off of that overbought, oversold thing. I want price to break. And this doesn't have a momentum candle. So according to my trading strategy, this is still missing that momentum candle, right? So I can give you guys like 5 or 10 things. I think it's probably 5. A momentum candle, break of the 50. Make a break of the 0 on the RSI or the 0 on the MACD. If you follow even the break of the trend line, any of those, you're going to be a lot more accurate because you're waiting for that momentum candle. You won't always get it, but that momentum candle will be all the difference. See this momentum candle?
Mm-hmm.
And then price went and it's just still going down. So if there was triple arrows here, this momentum candle is everything. And then it did break the 0, right?
Mm-hmm.
It did break the 50. That's what you're looking for.
Now, another question I have, how do you wait for it? Like, because it's an hourly candle, how many hours can you wait?
So, for instance, like I would check my charts on Sunday, Monday, give or take, depending on what my schedule looks like. I pick the trades that look like they are getting ready. They're not ready yet, okay? So, like, I'll pick 12 or 15 trades that look like they're getting ready, right? They're not ready yet.
Right.
And then come Monday night, I look for which ones are setting up. Then I'll check again on Tuesday morning. Maybe some of them didn't set up on Monday night. Some of them, sometimes I have a lot that set up. Or sometimes those trades don't set up until Wednesday, or they went against you for a little while. But I don't take my trade until it's fully ready. Since these are each an hour, you have plenty of hours to go find this, okay? So if you checked in the morning and then you checked at night, you know, just for an hour.
Checking twice a day is good enough?
Yeah. Like once you get your rules down, you can honestly check twice a day, swing trade 4 or 5 pairs at a time, average anywhere from 500 to 1,500 pips. Easy.
Hey, Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah, on the daily candle, on the daily dots, so that would run for the times. It'd just be from 4 p.m. all the way back around to 4 p.m. the next day, I guess.
Yes, sir.
So that's okay. I just thought that might be a part of what I need to be looking at. Otherwise, I wasn't sure.
Yes, sir.
So it's not a daily dot for that Stairmaster unless I'm using them one that's well, I guess I got to look at it like that too. I don't know.
The daily dot doesn't count for me unless the candle is closed, and then I don't have any repaint indices. Those 4 hours. So like, let's see, 7 a.m. my time is when you guys took that call. So here's the deal. If you guys had daily dots, those candles would not have disappeared if you had 4 hour dots. So again, I can't confirm what you saw, but if you had waited till that, I guess that's 11 a.m. my time, those dots would not have disappeared if they were there. If you had waited for the candle to close. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that's how I see the market. That just helps me. And I'm just really good at these rules, guys. That's all it comes down to.
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, Mike.
We're in and out a little bit right now. We get weather trying to set in here.
I apologize, Tim, for cutting you off.
Oh, that's okay. No problem.
Okay.
No problem at all.
Okay. Jenny, I've learned enough to know how to be profitable using the triple arrow system. However, when you say it's not ready yet, it's getting ready, that's still kind of a nebulous concept to me. In the future, maybe you can consider showing some examples of it getting ready so I can have a great understanding of exactly what you mean by that. Maybe not tonight, I know it's gotten late, but maybe in the future. If you could,
so let's do that tomorrow night. Let's click through some pairs and say, okay, this one's getting ready, but we're just waiting. And it's okay to wait. So like, think about how many hours this is, guys. So these are each hour candles. I mean, this is a day. So we have a whole day. Everyone wants to catch the first dot. And I don't understand why. Because if that dot was legit and it's going to stick around, we have all this time in the world, okay? So we're in such a rush to get this done that we're making poor decisions. So like if I saw this right here and my ADX isn't lined up, so just based off what's on my chart, right? It just doesn't look good yet. This isn't ready. Pretend we can't see anything past my little crosshairs. I know it's hard, but let's pretend. We have an ADX that's kind of choppy. My profits, my trend line is not there. This hasn't broke the zero, right? I mean, this isn't quite clear yet. Yeah, this one is crossed, but we know that this is our lagging, our super, super lagging. We don't have any of the other triple arrows yet either. So we're just not sure. It didn't break the 50. We have no momentum candle. All we have is like a nice little breakout box. That's all we have. That's it. So we would be waiting. So if I saw this on Monday night, I might check again on Tuesday morning, and then I see this nice momentum candle, but it wasn't able to stay there, right? So I'm still not satisfied. And even though I have all the arrows, I'm not satisfied. I mean, we come over here, it broke the zero. So I'd probably count this as an okay thing, but it didn't break this zero until it broke the 50. If you guys notice this.
Okay.
Broke below, but it couldn't stay below. So let's say I saw it right here. I'd probably start trusting it around here. And again, my stop loss would be tiny, right? My stop loss would not be very large. But I didn't get it. We're never going to see this perfect move, okay? This right here, just get it out of your head, that we're going to find this move where it perfectly broke the 50 and we got it on the next hour, right? Everything lines up. This is saying sell, momentum's up. This is saying down. This broke the 0. This is saying down. All the arrows, all the buy sell lines, and in the same direction as the 4 hour. The odds of us seeing this at the right time of day, unless we have no lives, is very, very slim, right? So, but we have all this time. Let's find out how much time this is. So let's give a few dots in, 4 dots in. So from 5:30 at 0 o'clock to anywhere in here to find this trade. So we have 4 days to see this trade. This is 4 days, guys. And you guys want to catch it here and then say, well, it wasn't ready yet, okay? Then you want to catch it here and it wasn't ready yet, and then you close it without any reason to, right? But you have 4 days to spot this trade. Wait for the perfect setup. Because even when it broke the 50, of course it came back to retest it. Then you've got momentum. And when you have this momentum, you still have a lot of confirmation. And then, of course, it kind of retested, which this is now making lower lows and lower highs, right? So we know this is going down. You could have got in here. You could have got in here. Could have got in here, right? Any of those moments work.
Okay. That helped out. That helped me out a lot, Jenny, that explanation.
I'm glad. I am glad.
Thank you.
I want to call my daughter, actually. Is there any other questions?
No. Just one quick one is it possible to, I mean, if you don't mind sharing some of your rules or plan?
So we will go over like rules tomorrow night. So tomorrow night we will go over like not ready yet and then creating rules. And we'll make
just for the swing trade, exact rules, how to enter, when to look, and when to exit. Exact.
Well, here's the deal. There's no such thing as exact rules because you have to.
I know. Only thing is, since we are learning from you your rules, if we can, then we can adapt once we learn your part because we know your way works.
Yes, okay. That'll work.
So I want to learn that first, and then if I have enough understanding, then I would change.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Well, thank you, Jenny.
So the last thing I'm gonna ask is, it's not even like a strategy or anything. I just can I see your settings for your trend lines and the 50 so we could be like aligned? Because I don't even have the big, I don't even have the M50. I guess I have to go.
Yeah, man. Yeah, why don't we do that tomorrow night so Jenny can call her daughter?
All right. I'll be here.
Right. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny. Call your daughter.
Jenny. Thank you, Jenny.
Have a great night.
Thanks, Jenny.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Jenny. Good night.
Welcome. Good night.
Good night, Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny.